Utabaki kuwa Mungu, utabaki kuwa Mungu, utabaki kuwa Mungu, Jehova Shammah. Utabaki kuwa Mungu, utabaki kuwa Mungu, utabaki kuwa Mungu, Jehova Shammah. Utabaki kuwa Mungu, utabaki kuwa Mungu, utabaki kuwa Mungu, Jehova Shammah.
Bwana ulisema, Bwana ulisema, Bwana ulisema, wanipenda upeo. Bwana ulisema, Bwana ulisema, Bwana ulisema, wanipenda sana. Dunia nzima iniache, kama wewe wanipenda, mimi sitapungukiwa na chochote. Ndio maana leo ninaimba, watu wote waelewe kwamba wewe ndiwe Mungu, Jehova Shammah. Unasema utabaki,
Utabaki kuwa
Adonai
Mungu,
utabaki,
utabaki
El
kuwa
Shaddai
Mungu,
utabaki.
utabaki kuwa Mungu, Jehova Shammah.
Wanasema utabaki,
Utabaki kuwa Mungu,
utabaki,
utabaki
Jehova
kuwa
Nisi
Mungu,
utabaki,
utabaki kuwa Mungu,
wewe.
Jehova
Wanasema
Shammah.
utabaki,
Utabaki kuwa Mungu,
utabaki,
utabaki
Jehova
kuwa
Rohi
Mungu,
utabaki,
utabaki kuwa Mungu, Jehova Shammah.
Umeandaa meza kubwa mbele ya watesi wangu, umenipa mali nyingi na wanaona. Isitoshe wewe Bwana umenizi.
All right, great. I'm so excited to have all of you here. I love Malawi. I'm from Malawi, and Malawian food is very special to me, but it's also special because it's very simple yet delicious. So I hope some of you will be able to cook along with us, but those of you who could not cook along with us because you may have not had a chance to get the ingredients, that's okay. We're going to go through it today, and this is going to be recorded. This is actually being recorded, and this video is going to be shared with you guys, okay? So the first thing I want to do is introduce our chef of the hour. All right, Chef Annie. Everyone say hi, Chef Annie.
Hello, everybody. Hello. Thank you for joining us.
And I want to showcase Chef Annie's awesome apron.
Should I move here so you can see?
Which was made by some women in Malawi, tailored. It's actually a patch, it's like almost like a quilt of different fabric, and it's wonderful, it's reversible, and it's so
Yes, so you can use the other side as well. So we're using this side.
All right. But women in Malawi, in rural Malawi where we work, they don't really have aprons at all. They mostly cook with something called asalu or chitenje. In our area, it's called a chitenje. And you just wear chitenje around your waist. So it's really like a go-to if you want to keep your hands clean, you want to wipe. They use it for everything. We carry the baby on the back with it. So I have my handy dandy chitenje while Chef Annie has her fancy apron. You get a taste of both. All right. Let me go over what we're going to be cooking today and what you're going to need if you're cooking along with us. So the main dish is Nsima. The main ingredient for Nsima is cornmeal, corn flour, all right? Goya is the one we're using, this white Goya, but you can use yellow Goya. You can use Indian head, which is a different brand, but the main thing is that it has to be cornmeal. This is the closest thing we found to the type of flour that they have in Malawi. All right, so this is the flour we'll be using for Nsima. Nsima is only made with 2 ingredients: water, which I'm assuming all of you have, and cornmeal, which some of you might have. In addition to that, Nsima is eaten with what we call ndiwo. So I'm going to let Chef Annie talk about the ndiwo we're going to be using today, because Nsima by itself has no taste. The taste comes from the ndiwo or relish that you're gonna eat it with. So Chef Annie, please let us know what we're gonna be eating with Nsima.
Yes, so thank you, Ms. Tewa. As she said, Nsima has no taste, and we don't use any salt, it's just water and the flour that you use. So you have to get taste from something else. So it means whoever is cooking, they have to think about what would I use to eat with my Nsima. So that's very, very important, because you cannot just put your pot there and start cooking without thinking of what you're going to use first. So we're using something very simple. We're using kale, but you can use any vegetable. Here we have collard greens, but I'm cooking kale, and we did a shortcut. So the kale is kind of half done, but we'll finish it off. And also, we are going to use eggs. If you don't have eggs, you can use beef, you can use chicken, you can use beans, you can use whatever you want to use your Nsima with. So the side dish is anything. But today we're going to do it's kind of like scrambled eggs, but then we're going to put some sauce in there. We'll put some tomatoes in. So I'll kind of stew tomatoes with the onions, and then I'll put those in my kale, and I'll put part of that in my eggs. So let's move to the kitchen. So I have my spoons. So we have to think about that first. So I put a little bit of some oil. So I'm using this oil for both, for my eggs and my kale. So the kale is partly cooked. You can cook it the way you want. This is the kale. Okay. And then I made some sort of like scrambled eggs or omelette, kind of omelette, and then kind of chop them up so they can be okay. Then I'll put some tomatoes on that.
All right, so I'm gonna stop her real quick to go over one little itty bitty thing. The secret to all Malawian food is the base, which is onions and tomatoes. And then it goes with whatever you're making it with. So in this case, we have onions and we have the tomatoes, and then we're gonna add the scrambled eggs. Or we have onions and we have tomatoes, then you add your kale. So literally Malawian food is simply your onions, tomatoes, plus. And then we add the main spice, which is salt. So we don't have fancy spices, you know, there's other cuisines that have like curries and hot pepper and all of that. Most of the time, especially in the rural areas, people just cook with salt. That is the only seasoning used, but it still comes out tasting very good. But things are not canned, they're not preserved in any way, they're grown from the farm, picked right off, and then cooked. So here is Chef Annie starting to fry the onions.
So I put my tomatoes in. Leave that on.
And if you guys have questions as she's cooking,
You can ask.
feel free to use your chat. You can also get off mic and I can hear you just fine. So most of this class is going to focus on Nsima because you can really eat Nsima with any ndiwo. But we wanted to show you how we usually do some of the ndiwo. So although we didn't spend a lot of time on like, we're going to cut the onion together and the tomato together and fry the eggs together. The main thing is you can use any ndiwo you like that you find tasty. Okay.
Yes. So as my tomatoes and my onions are kind of cooking, because I have to mash them or put them so that soupy. Let's move back to our main focus of today, our Nsima. So I have here, it's good to have a pot that have a handle, especially when you're using a stove. The women back home in Malawi are very talented because they use pots with no handles, but there's still money to do it. But here we're going to use this one because it's much easier. So I have about, because I was counting the people that are in here today for my Nsima, so I have about 6 cups of water in here. And I use this cup to measure my water. But back home, they don't measure. You just estimate. You just go, because with experience, you know how much you put in your pot. But here I kind of try to measure. It may not be as accurate. So about 6 cups of water will be enough for the 4 of us here. And then about 3 cups of cornmeal or flour.
Okay, so
as my tomatoes are being cooked, I put my thing in here, making sure I put it on high so the water can start off. So I'm kind of doing 2 things at the same time. And even in Malawi, women do the same thing. They can have like 2 fires because you want to do things quickly. So you're having your vegetables cooking somewhere there. You have your Nsima starting somewhere there. So you can catch up with the time. Okay. So over to you, Ms. Nsima. If they have any questions, they can ask.
that's excellent. I was actually going to interject before. I don't know if you remember seeing the video of the woman cooking Nsima. So the video had a lot of different things, but she was cooking Nsima. She had a big pot and they didn't have a handle. A lot of the women there, they have very tough hands. So you learn to handle hot things, you take it right off the stove. In fact, a funny story, when I had told one of our supporters and showed some of the videos of the women cooking, they said, oh my goodness, we've got to get them some pot holders. So she had donated some pot holders and said, can you at least give this to some of the women? Well, I went and I said, hey, let me tell you, some of our supporters want you to have this pot holder. Well, one of the women, her name was Nyambale, she took those pot holders, she hung them on her wall. And I came back the other day and said, oh, what are you doing? She said, they're so beautiful. There's no way I'm gonna use that to dirty it and handle the pot. So it's all relative. It's really all relative. And what might be to us something extremely useful and necessary, to them, when it's really hot, they actually get some banana leaves off of the banana tree. They'll put them together and they'll find something. Oh, guess what? That's where your salo comes in. You wrap it up, you grab it real quick, but most of the time they just handle it with their hands. All right, so I just wanted to point that out. So if you're cooking along with us, make sure you have that pot, which has a handle. You have now put some water in here, okay? And you're gonna put it on high heat. So that's the Nsima part here. While you're waiting for this water to be ready, you are, if you're cooking the ndiwo with us, you're stewing together your tomatoes and your onions.
Yes. So you want it soupy. Soupy.
It's important for your ndiwo to be soupy. Whatever ndiwo you eat with your Nsima should be soupy because the Nsima itself needs sauce. It's much tastier that way.
Yeah, so Ms. Nsima, I have a question for you. Why do you think people in Malawi, I wouldn't say Malawi in general, but like in Zoe where we're working, why do you think that they use a lot of sauce and a lot of salt?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Maybe somebody else?
Yeah. Why do you think they use a lot of salt and a lot of sauce in general? That's a great question. I know why I use a lot of salt and a lot of sauce. Do you know why they use that? We actually have a sous chef here, Mama Kama. Why do they use so much salt and sauce?
Yeah, come on me, Mama Kama, so they can see
We're
you.
gonna introduce our sous chef, and she's been really keeping us on target, cutting up food before. Hello, Mama Kama.
Hello, good to see you all.
Mama Kama is also from Malawi. I call her Mama Kama. Her name is Kama, but she's Mama to me because anyone older is a mama. Okay, so Mama Kama, can you guess why? Maybe in our area. She's from a different area. Why they use so much salt and so much sauce for the Nsima?
Well, because the Nsima is a little dry, it's not soft. So it has to have something that will season it. So the salt will help to season it, and Moisture will help to make it softer as you eat and swallow, of course. Yeah.
Makes it tastier.
Mhm.
Okay, very good. Anybody else? Anybody else? From the group? Nobody? There was a question about how much water for the Nsima. Thank you very much for the person who asked. It really depends on how many people you're cooking for.
Yeah, so like when I cook for my husband, usually I'm making like 2 small pieces of Nsima. We'll get to that later. So I use like 2.5 cups of water, and then I use about a cup of flour. And then the 1/4 of that flour is the one that I will use to make the porridge, and then use the other one to pour it in to make the Nsima stiff enough to be handled with the hands.
So if you're cooking for, say, 4 people or so, this one was about what, 4 cups of water?
Yes, about
Yeah.
4 3 cups of water.
3 to 4 cups of water. If you're cooking for a larger
Let me
group,
see.
you
Okay.
do maybe 6 cups of water. And then sometimes you cook for a lot of people and you're using big pots. And sometimes it gets so hard, multiple women are working on it, making Nsima when it's a big amount. You'll see why when we get to the tougher part of Nsima, okay?
So, if you're just cooking for a few people, you don't have to boil the water for a long time. But if you're cooking for so many, then you have to boil it a little bit. So like when I'm doing it at home for my husband and myself, like 3 to 5 minutes is enough, because you don't want your water to boil. If it boils, it's going to be lumpy. So it has to be just warm enough, like the way you are testing the milk for the baby. So just lukewarm and use. So I'll use about that much of flour, half a cup of flour.
As you pour,
As you
stir.
pour, you stir. You stir, so it doesn't make lumps. You stir, as you pour, you stir. You don't want any lumps.
Now, what's
Especially
that
myself, I don't like lumps.
Yeah, a lot of Malawians don't like lumpy Nsima. If you have lumpy Nsima, you're not a good Nsima cook. So this part is important, so you don't have lumpy Nsima. But what is this special tool you're using here? I've never seen something like this in the US. What is this paddle? It looks like a canoe paddle.
Oh, it's called Tico, but it's a wooden spoon, just shaped differently. But here in the United States, I use different kind of spoons. I can use this one. I can use
Like this.
I can use like something like that.
This is what I use at home. Because I'm not making a lot of Nsima. But the Tico is especially helpful when you're cooking for a lot of people with a big pot that's gonna need more reach. So for a small Nsima like this, just feel free to find a wooden spoon like that in your sink, in your kitchen.
Okay.
All right, I hear there's a question.
Uh-huh.
So Mama Kama, what question came up?
What reaction did you use for the Nsima, for the ufa to the water?
Ooh,
For
okay.
the first stage of the Nsima?
So I'm gonna repeat that question so others can hear it. What ratio of the Nsima to water, the flour?
So
want
2 to
flour.
1, try 2 to 1. Yeah, 2 to 1. Because like as I'm saying, when I make it at home for my husband, I use 2 cups of water to 1 cup of flour. Yeah, and then I'll take, maybe I should slow down a little bit.
Yes, so at this stage, you're basically starting to make like a porridge, right? It's mostly, at this stage, it's mostly water, it's still very liquidy, right?
It will be, as it heats up, it will be
It's
thicker,
still
and
very
then that
liquidy.
oil. So you're like making your porridge.
Imagine making cream of wheat.
Yes. Cream of
Right, so the Nsima process, you always start with like, you're making a porridge, you add enough flour to still have it be liquidy, that is still dropping like that, all right? As it thickens, as it heats up, it gets thicker and thicker, so we'll see how thick it gets, but at this point, we have porridge.
And then I brought in my old cups. I don't think we use these anymore when we're drinking tea. But this is very, very equivalent. When I'm talking about cups, I'm thinking of this. So it's equivalent. So if I don't have this, like from the store, I can use my old teacup. Yeah, they're the same. Another question?
I want to ask you a question about whether, so in Malawi, right now, this cooking show is going to be no more than 1 hour probably, because we are really careful about our time here in the US. But how long on average would it take a woman in rural Malawi to cook a meal?
The meal, the whole meal, we see maybe 1.5. But also depending on how experienced they are, and also depending on what you're making. If you're just making eggs, that's the way we did today, it won't take you a lot of time. So about 1.5. Would that be okay, Ms. Kama, my sous chef?
Yes, I agree.
1.5, I would say in the city, they definitely have a faster, it's much faster to cook in the city, where the women are in the urban areas. In rural Malawi, the process of cooking could be 3+ hours because it involves multiple steps. Because here we just have our stove, we just turn it on. But there, you would have had to go get your firewood, you would have had to get your water, and then you would have had to make sure you start your fire. And most of the time, you only have one place you're cooking at. So in the video, in the beginning of class, you saw the woman had that one place. She was making Nsima there. But before she made the Nsima, she used that same one place to make Ndiwo. She used that same one place to heat water for something else.
Yeah.
So most of the time, you're cooking on one place, and well, make sure we cover this. You're cooking on with very limited resources. So you might only have 2 pots that your family have. You might have your wagumtiko. We have so many plates, pots. Look how many different areas I have in this wonderful kitchen to cook in. I could literally make 6 dishes at one time. But in Malawi, it's a much longer process because you're only having one thing at a time and very few resources for it. It could literally take 3+ hours.
All right, Ms. Tema.
Okay.
So my tomatoes are done. So for the vegetables.
Let's show them a little bit more of the tomatoes.
Oh, the tomatoes. So my tomatoes are done. So what I'll do, because I did both for the vegetables and for my meat, which is my eggs. So I'll take a little bit of that, put in my kale, and then I'll leave a little bit, put a little bit of some water into that so I can put on my eggs so that I can have a little bit more sauce.
Do you add the salt at this point or you add the salt later?
So the salt, I added the salt in my eggs and I added the salt in my vegetables. So when I was cooking my kale, I put a little bit of some water, like half a cup of water, put a little bit of some salt there, maybe like 1 tablespoon of salt, and then boil it. When it's done, sorry.
It's okay.
That's the problem with my multitasking.
Well, what I want to show you is right now the Nsima porridge is boiling. It's very hot. I don't have Malawian hands like I used to. It's fine, don't worry. So we have right here, the porridge is boiling. It gets extremely hot and it does boil. You have to be careful when you're cooking Nsima, especially as we go to the next part where we're adding more flour. This gets so hot that a lot of it will be jumping out.
Okay, so my vegetables. So I added my tomato there. And last time somebody was asking, like, how much water do you drain your vegetables? So the trick is when you're cooking vegetables, especially little vegetables, you don't put a lot of water so that you don't have to think of draining. So when you're putting your tomatoes, it's not a lot of water for me to drain away. So this is done, and then I'll put a little bit of, let me add some more tomatoes. That's done, and then I'll put a little bit of some water in my.
So you just did something really interesting, Chef Annie. You went to the sink and you got your water.
Yeah.
If you're cooking outside like the woman we saw, what is she doing when she needs water for Nsima, water for, you know, Ndiwo? What is she usually doing?
So they usually have like a either a pot or a bucket of water in their kitchen or outside, wherever they are. If it's outside, usually they cover it with a basket like this one. So you cover your pot or you cover your bucket of water like that. That's what we use.
Yeah, the basket there is extremely useful, multi-purpose, and we'll go over that.
A winnowing.
A winnowing basket, okay? That was a winnowing basket.
Yes.
Thank you to our sous chef for reminding me. And they use this all the time. In fact, when Chef Annie was cutting, she was cutting her vegetables earlier and her tomatoes earlier on a cutting board, but they don't have cutting boards there. They usually just cut. I'll have to demonstrate later,
So
cut in the air. So we'll demonstrate that later, how we use the winnowing basket.
So
as a
colander.
cutting board. Yep, it's multi-purpose thing, all right? So once we finish we will get to our Nsima. At this point, your Nsima should be boiling.
So your Nsima is ready.
Not ready, it's not ready.
Ready to be cooked. So you have your vegetables, you have your meat, you have your eggs with a lot of sauce. That's fine. And let me check my Nsima. Yeah, so usually at home, so the first step is the water. You boil, you let your, I wouldn't say boil, just to lukewarm for about 2 to 3 minutes or 5 minutes, depending on how big your pot is. And then once you make your porridge will look like this. So it's like translucent, then you know it is cooked. But you boil for about 5 to 6 minutes. But make sure that it's cooked, because if your porridge is not cooked, then this porridge, because it's cooked, is the one that is going to cook the rest of the flour. So if this is not cooked, make sure that it boils. So as I was doing my vegetables here with the bunny, make sure that it is cooked. So because if it's not cooked, the flour that I'm going to fold in is not going to cook very well. So although I was doing other things, I was giving myself some time to make sure that this is well cooked.
Okay, can you go over how do we know that it's cooked at this stage, that it's cooked enough to add more flour? Is it gonna look a certain way? Is it gonna feel a certain way? Is it a certain amount of time? I don't know.
I was talking about time, but this is not time. It's really, that's why I was saying translucent, because if you look at this, like you see, it's holding together, because before that, it doesn't hold together, but now it's holding together. You can see that it's holding together. So you know that it is cooked, that I can add more flour. And so the other thing is, because we reduce the heat a little bit, sometimes it's a kind of tricky. So I'll put the heat a little bit high, because I don't want my Nsima to be uncooked. Okay.
Okay, so you just did something interesting here. You increased the heat.
I increase the heat.
If you're cooking on fire, like the women that are cooking in the villages, how do they moderate the heat as they're cooking? What are they doing?
So they remove some of the logs. You know, you remove some of the logs, because sometimes when also it's too hot, then it will burn you, because as it's splashing, sometimes it will come into your hands and it's like, you don't want to burn yourself. So they adjust the heat by removing some of the logs. Does that answer the question?
Yeah. Let me just say how excited I am that we are able to cook on stoves that you just turn a little knob.
Yeah.
And no need to handle hot logs without any blood.
I can move from it. All right, now I'm going to add more flour. So when you're adding flour, just also be careful, because you don't want to make lumps. So I don't just dump it in. You kind of sprinkle. You sprinkle. Okay.
How important is it?
It goes with the experience.
So you said a lot of things. Most of the time, you're saying you kind of know. You don't really measure. You just know. Now, how early do women learn to cook Nsima? Like, at what age would you say you knew how to make Nsima for your family?
Oh my God.
8 years.
Yeah, yeah.
So
You
as
have to know
young as
everything.
They buy you a small pot, and then it's like our play kitchen.
Fire. Okay, so our sous chef Mama Kama say, you know, as early 8 years old, even younger, you get a smaller pot and you can have your play kitchen to practice, but you learn at a very young age how to make Nsima. By the time you're older, it's just second nature.
You're cooking for your siblings too.
And
Yes,
also,
you
After
can.
school.
Your mom is going somewhere, they'll leave you, and you have to cook. Make sure your grandma has eaten.
mhm. Very good, very good.
So here the trick of beating it up, because you want it to be smooth.
So this part is important because it helps it not have lumps or be smooth or mix in the flour. What is this part when you're mixing the flour and out, what does it help the Nsima be? I'm thinking about how do you avoid the lumps? How do you make sure it's cooked? How do you make sure the flour is integrated in there?
I don't know, that's a tough question. That's a tough question, Nsima.
So in essence, what I'm alluding to is you go through this process to make sure your flour is well mixed in there. Remember that the porridge you just boiled is already cooked. It's cooking the flour you're adding.
Yes.
So you're adding it slowly and you're literally mixing it in properly so that you can make sure everything is cooked. People in Malawi, we eat Nsima all the time, and we can tell when Nsima is not cooked well and when it's cooked well. If it's lumpy or if it's smooth. In fact, if you're gonna be getting married, you wanna be good marriage material, you
Yes.
must make sure you can make good Nsima for your husband and for your future mother-in-law.
Yeah, and not just your mother-in-law, it's all your relatives, especially in Zoe. You are married to a village. So after the wedding, they actually give you a big pot. So you have to cook the Nsima. They will show you how to divide, where to send the Nsima. So it's like a big process. They have to show you which people need how much Nsima.
Is it a bit intimidating having to cook for all your relatives?
Yes, it is. It is. Yeah.
So
I know after my wedding day, I was crying.
Oh, they made you cry.
They made me cry. Now you have all these women and they're watching you and you are there with your pot and cooking.
So this is more than just a meal. This is an initiation process. All the people out there who are cooking along with us, or you're gonna cook along with us later, when you view this picture, when you view this video, guess what? Just remember, this is your ticket into your future husband or keeping them.
Yeah.
Now, do men cook Nsima or is it just the females? Tell me about that. Is it a fair game here?
In the rural areas, it's women. In the urban areas, because not everything is done indoor, nobody's watching what you're doing. So your husband can cook as well. And they're also cooking on the stove. They're not cooking on the fire.
Yeah.
But back home, if they see a man taking firewood and standing up trying to cook, the women will be jumping up and down trying to help him out and do it.
I must say, I'm proud to have a papa who can make Nsima on his own. I found him making Nsima last night when I stopped by the house.
Yeah, on the stove.
On the stove.
But when he's back home, the women are like, no, you can't do that. They'll be jumping up and down like, all the young women.
Okay. So when do you know to stop adding flour? You've been adding flour slowly over.
So I'm adding flour slowly because if you add flour too quickly, also apart from the lumps, it can also not be cooked. You have to give it time to mix with the porridge to get cooked. So if you are just dumping your flour, then you end up with Nsima that is not cooked well.
But when do you know when you've added enough flour? Depending
on how stiff you like it. Some people, they like it a little bit thinner. Some people like it thicker. So like I would know my husband's brother wanted something that is thicker. So when I'm cooking for him, I have to add more flour. But my husband doesn't like the thicker one, so I don't add a lot of flour. So depending on who you're cooking, so some people, they want it thick. They want, when they're handling it, it doesn't stick in their hands. It's literally you're making like a ball, so you have to make it thicker for them.
So in essence, if we were writing a recipe for Nsima, in the instructions, item number 1 would be, who are you cooking for? And how many are you cooking for?
But you know, it is done, because you see, like
It doesn't drop as
it
easy.
doesn't drop as easy.
Okay.
It's not like
It's
a porridge.
thick.
It's thick, it's like mashed potato.
Like mashed potatoes.
Yeah, so it
Okay.
is thick enough.
Okay.
Okay, so
So-
it is done.
We're gonna pause here to see if there's any questions,
Any questions?
in the
or
chat,
switch or-
or if you wanna get off mute, you can ask your question, off mute. We're gonna pause. Is there anybody who's trying it, who's trying to
Oh, yes.
cook it? Oh, and tell me, how is it going as you're trying to beat the Nsima? I wanna, I see some people there, okay. Who we have, trying it out? Leah's trying it,
Yes, I see
Oh,
Matthew's
so
trying it.
thick, right? Can I see
Very
yours? Okay. And it takes muscles to do, right? Because my arm is big.
Yes,
It's like you're doing a good job.
if you feel like it's work, you are doing a good job.
Let's try it smooth.
Let me hear from one other per Matthew, how's it going for you? I think he's on mute. Oh,
Yeah, we're getting a workout over here.
you're getting a workout, okay.
Yeah.
There's been teamwork at Matthews, I see.
Oh, I see there's some teamwork there. Yeah, and
Yeah.
what I was telling you before is when the women are actually cooking a lot, they take turns
Mhm.
beating it. You need 2 hands. Right now, I can do this with 1 hand. This is a small pot. When it's a big pot, you actually need 2 hands, and that's when they come on the ground, they will take the pot down with them on the ground.
A little bit. You want me
Yes,
to
and
do that?
Janet is showing her part, awesome.
Okay, good, Janet.
You want me to do that?
Yeah, and my, Chef Annie is gonna show you when it's a big pot,
When it's a big pot, you put it down.
you put it down.
Let's see if I can get down to the crook.
It's gotten, and it's go like this, you beat like that.
Now that's gonna good.
Yes,
Yeah.
and you have to know how to do this, because you have to know how to cook for multiple sizes of people.
Yes.
But this gives you more strength,
Yeah,
and
and more beating up, so it doesn't have any lumps.
there we go, that's, always, you can take the Malawian out of Malawi, but you can't take the Malawian out of the person. So now we're going to move to our next part. Now you have the dishes out. But before we go to this part, this is a tool. Can you tell them what this is and why did you get the water?
Okay, so this is called the what?
Chibande.
Chipande, Rukezu, they have different names, but it's like a bigger scoop. You use it as like a spoon that you scoop the Nsima out.
If you
And
don't
you
have
put it-
that tool,
And you put it in water, so it doesn't, the Nsima doesn't stick to the scoop.
if you don't have a chibande, you can have anything that's concave. We prefer wooden utensils because you are scraping against your pan. But you can use anything concave that's gonna allow you to scoop it, okay? So at this
Okay.
point, I wanna make sure everybody gets a chibande-like tool
Yes.
and gets a bowl of water,
Water.
okay?
A bowl of water, put your spoon there, even if you're using a spoon, put it in water, so it doesn't sink. I mean,
And a plate.
and the plate where you're going to
You're
put
gonna
your
put your
Nsima.
Nsima.
And make sure when you are doing this, because it's also, especially if you're just newly married, they also check the way you scoop your Nsima. So it has to look nice on the plate. So when it has to be like a little bit of some stylish,
Uh-huh.
you see? So when you put it in there, it looks nice. Yeah, so you cannot just dump it in there. You have to do it very well. And so your mother-in-law or whoever you're cooking for, like, oh my gosh, she knows what she's doing.
She's a keeper.
Yeah, she's a keeper. Somebody commented on the Nsima, like, oh, it's like from a factory. Yeah. And you put another one. There you go.
So you continue as you're beating it and
Yeah,
show
you're
them
going
how
to-
you're scraping against the side. What does that do? That helps you scoop it properly, right?
Also, my mom taught me like you don't waste. So you are trying to grab everything.
No waste.
No waste. I don't want to waste. And she will check my pot when I'm done. Like, Mama, you left a lot of Nsima there.
Mhm.
Okay. Oh, I think I made enough.
I
One
know.
bit.
You
That's
have
the
one
thing I
more.
don't like about Nsima because I'm not good at making.
You see,
Like
Chef
perfect.
Annie is,
Yes.
you want it nice and round. You can, it could be any size. Oh, Leah, I can't wait to see. I want to come and look at it now. But you continue to stack it.
Let's use this. If
How
you're
do
using
you
it-
get, how do you get it so that it like forms those little loaf balls? Is it just because you just keep cooking it?
Yeah, you scoop it like this.
So you just keep cooking it and it thickens, it keeps getting.
It's done.
So you can
At
even
that
use
stage, you are
using your
done.
spoon
It's
is to
Yeah, you're doing great, Leah.
using your spoon is also working.
So
I
Leah,
use
you're
the
ready.
spoon there.
Yours is ready to start.
Really? But it feels like it's kind of like more liquidy. It's not as firm as yours.
Then you can add more flour.
Okay.
Before you add more flour, let me tell you that Nsima will naturally get harder when it stays. So if you're going to eat your Nsima right away, it's okay to add more flour. If you're going to let it sit before you eat it right away, you can actually dish it out in a softer form because it solidifies anyway.
Yeah, with the air.
With the
more
air.
it hits the air, it
Yeah.
dries up.
So if you add more flour, it's because if you eat it right away, it's okay to add more flour. But if you're going to wait, it's okay for it to be softer. It will get harder.
You
Okay.
see, I use my scoop.
That's the American
Yes.
Nsima on the top.
You see, yeah. You see, you can still do it.
You can still do it.
Oh, beautiful Nsima.
Wow.
Yes.
Can we say wow to Chef Annie? Wow. Now let's show them what your pot looks like right now after you dished out the Nsima.
Okay, you can show them.
So here we
Let
go.
me cover my Nsima.
Okay. Now here's the Mama Kama sous chef. What do you call this bottom of the pan? Is this trash? Do you know?
Oh, no.
No, it's not trash.
No, it's not trash.
Okay, what do people
Especially
do?
when the base gets brown a bit,
Uh-huh.
then you just leave it on the side of the fire and then it just lifts off the pot.
Oh.
And then it's like a kind of cracker
It's like
that the kids
so
will enjoy.
Yeah,
what happens is,
it's called chigongota.
Yeah. Chigogoda.
so the bottom of the pan actually over time when it's on the fire, it lifts off of the pan
Yeah.
and it's like a wafer.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
And you can
exactly.
pick it right off and the kids love chigogota.
Yeah.
Yes, and when I was in high school, we used to rush to the kitchen and we called it VP.
VP.
Yeah, the mashed potato. So you're right into the kitchen. Yeah,
Because you can't
It was
wait.
like our snack.
Yeah,
Because
VP. Fighting
they used to
cook.
cook in huge
Yeah,
pots.
yeah.
And then it also was a lot.
Lord, yeah.
Yeah, then they'll just split it and share
Yeah.
all the girls and then.
Very good.
Like, I'm
So what I'm gonna challenge you guys to do is two things. Number one, I want you in your chat to put in capitals, no waste, no waste. We eat every part.
Yes.
Number two, if you're cooking this, I want you to taste it. And
and see, yeah.
you will see it has no taste. It has no taste. But a lot of Malawians feel like if they haven't eaten Nsima, they haven't really eaten. They
Yeah.
feel hungry still. The thing about it, it's a popular dish, but it sticks to your stomach like oatmeal. So it helps people not feel hungry, but the nutrition is really with the ndiwo that you eat it with. So let's take a look now what happens with this ndiwo. We have our Nsima is finished, okay?
Nsima is finished.
And we're gonna dish out the ndiwo.
Now we have our vegetables dished out.
I'm gonna let her, while she's dishing out the vegetables, I want to ask a question from the audience. So some people here are trying this out. It's totally, new. I want to hear those who've been able to just dish it. Did you get a chance to taste it? What does it taste like? What does it feel like? Right? We're gonna show you how we eat the Nsima because there's a special way to eat Nsima. But for now, I want to hear from the chat. What does it taste like? What does it feel like? Was it difficult to make it? Okay.
No, it's not taste.
It's not taste, no taste. And we're telling you it's the most popular dish and it's no taste. So, very true. Now, what you see here is the way that most families will serve their dishes. They cover them, they will take two plates that are the same. Okay? Chef Annie, you got in my way there. And they will just find something and they'll cover it until it's time for a meal. We don't have fancy dishes with like lids. The lid is your duplicate plate. So they will serve it like that, and you have your ndiwo in smaller dishes. And so that's how they serve their items. Now, we have 4 individuals here in the kitchen, and we're going to show you how we eat Nsima. So at this point, we're gonna dish it into different plates. We're gonna have our cameraman will get a taste, and we're gonna have Mama Kama take a taste. Did you put enough salt in this one?
Yes, so about salt, Tema is asking about salt. One thing that I learned from my brother-in-law one time I was making cabbage, and I added too much salt. And so he said, honey, you know, when you add too much salt, you cannot take the salt away. But if you don't add too much salt, I can always put some more. So our son-in-law always laughs at us like, oh, this is the Malawian way. They're eating here and they're adding salt, So, but it's better for people to add their more salt if they want more salt than for me to add too much salt when I'm cooking. So I try to use a little bit of salt when I'm cooking, and then people can add some more. The other thing I think we touched on this in the beginning about, I asked the question, why do you think we have sauce and also using the salt? Most of the times when you are cooking, especially the ndiwo, the side dish, you have so many people. So like all of us here, but you have very little meat, very little chicken, very little beans, but you have more Nsima. And so to stretch it, you add a little bit more salt to it so you can stretch it.
Sauce, yeah.
And also the Nsima, instead of picking up the egg, you dip it in the sauce. So it doesn't have anything. So that way, everybody is going to get full from the Nsima. So the Nsima is the thing that is filling you up. It's not your beans, it's not your chicken, it's not your beef, but it is Nsima that is filling you up. So to stretch it, add a little bit more salt and a little bit more water to make the sauce. Otherwise, if everybody is picking a piece of chicken, it's not going to be adequate. And you know, you're not going to be able to finish your Nsima. So that was the answer to the question that I asked earlier.
Thank you, Chef Annie.
Yes.
We really learned something new. One of the things that we deliberately did this time, we were going to make chicken and vegetables, but most people don't eat meat unless it's a special occasion, a wedding or a special guest is in the house. So you're more likely to have people, the protein will be eggs, you know, they have chickens or beans. Beans are popular protein, eggs are popular protein, fish, fried fish, especially those that are by the water. But it's rare for them to eat meat, and especially rare for them to eat like big kinds of meats, like your goats and your cows, because you know, you're in a rural area, there's very little, there's no refrigeration. Where we work, there's no electricity. So if you're gonna kill a cow, you're gonna kill it because a lot of people can eat it at that time, right? A big wedding or maybe a funeral. So they really make sure things are not wasted, and you usually eat meat when there's something bigger to celebrate with more people, okay? I just wanted to make sure people understood why we were using eggs today, which is more common than if you would go to a house and get meat.
And most of the times I know I'm a nutritionist, so we're trying to educate people to have like the 3 food groups. You have to have your protein source, your carbohydrate source and your vitamin and mineral source from the vegetables. But most of the times, people will only have one thing at a time. So if it's the vegetable, they'll just have the Nsima with the vegetables. If it's the beef, they just have the Nsima with the beef. It's like a privilege to have vegetables here, beef there, and no, just one thing. All you want is to get full with your Nsima. And then also, I remember the other time, I brought some peanuts here talking about nutrition. So your vegetables, we added some oil, some tomatoes, but sometimes they don't have those. If they don't have the tomatoes, onions, it's just plain vegetables with just some salt. Or they can put some peanut butter sauce on the vegetables. I know the other time, my mom, whatever she cooked, I didn't like it. You can also use your peanuts. Roast them with some salt. You use this with your Nsima. Yeah, you're good. It has some salt and has something that will bring the taste of the Nsima in my mouth. So I said, Mama, I don't like your vegetables, especially the dry one. Then I'd rather just have some peanuts with my Nsima. So I had some.
So you guys have done a great job. I'm hoping, and if you didn't cook along, I'm hoping you will watch the video later and try it then. So now we're going to go to the best part. The best part about cooking is eating. Okay? So Nsima is eaten with your hands. Yes, you have utensils here, forks, knives. Yes, you can. But it's not as fun anyway, although we have the forks and the knives. Nsima is eaten with the hands. And you'll see why. I'll actually show you.
To do it? Okay.
Yeah, so the first thing is you wash hands. I'm gonna have you want me to do mine? Okay. Typically, the younger will wash the hands of the elders because I'm gonna demonstrate my mom is gonna wash my hands. But this is not how it's gonna work. Usually you have to get on your knees and make sure you have everybody wash their hands because you're the youngest one. And then the youngest one eats last, and I'm the youngest one here, but I'm gonna eat first because I'm the executive director. Okay.
Okay.
So
you
I wash my hands.
Yeah, wash your hands.
And so we're just gonna open the different things. This is our Nsima.
Finish some of this from there. Get your.
Oh, yes. This is our vegetable. I'll just use this. I'll use a little chipande. I have it. I have my baby chipande.
Can you use this?
And then this is the eggs. All right. So on your plate, you will grab the Nsima because your hands are wet. Wet hands actually help you handle Nsima better.
That's one
What's
mistake.
Nsima?
Yeah, with
And
Nsima.
Nsima is eaten hot.
It's hot. No one wants cold Nsima. That's why we cover it to keep it moist. So it's much easier to grab when you have wet hands. And then I'm gonna put my vegetables on the side here. Okay, I like a lot of dill.
Yeah, she does.
I eat a lot. They're like, why do you have so much dill? And then I'll put
She's a tongue girl.
I love dill. And then I'll have my eggs here. So there you have your Nsima, eggs, and greens. Okay, and you can make any greens. We used kale, but you can use cabbage. You can use collard greens. You can use any greens that you want in your spinach, as long as it has the onions and tomatoes. That's what makes it Malawi, and salt.
And so, you don't have tomatoes or onions,
At least
at least add some salt.
Yes.
You'll be okay. You eat your Nsima with it.
So here we have the Nsima, and what you do is you break off a piece of the Nsima. All right, just like this, and pretend it's Play-Doh, and you're just going to roll it into a dough, like a ball, like Play-Doh. So there you go, you're rolling it like this. Then you can make a little indent there. That indent is gonna help you scoop your relish. So now it looks like a ball with a little indentation. I scoop it there. My relish sits nicely there. I like a lot of relish, look at me. But it's so yummy. So then,
Where you go?
Very delicious.
Is it good?
My favorite part. Chef Annie, you've done a great job.
Thank you.
And I love eggs, so Gonna try the eggs. Gonna get a little bit of Nsima again. And you only use one hand, okay?
Yeah.
And you break off your part of your iwo there. And again.
Yeah,
Mmm.
you're just using your fingers.
Just use your
Not the
fingers.
whole, it doesn't
Not the
have to be
whole.
the whole palm.
Because if you're using your palm, you're not really doing it right. This part should be clean. But your fingers are the ones that are really navigating that. I do like salt. So I'm gonna add more because I have low blood pressure. I can do that. But that's how you eat Nsima. That's how you prepare and eat Nsima. So we're gonna finish the show. We're gonna serve the rest of the people here, but we want to make sure we hear from you. How was the class? How did it go? Was it difficult? Were you surprised by anything? Are you still struggling to beat your Nsima as we speak, as I'm enjoying mine? Let me hear from you. Are you gonna watch this video and invite some friends over and cook with them? I want to hear from you now, so you can get off mute, and I will be serving my friends here in the kitchen.
Oh, I see Leah's assistant chef is enjoying his Nsima too.
Mm.
Yes.
We got
And
it.
he did a great job in the kitchen, I saw him.
Mm. We're so impressed with you.
Oh, yeah.
And we're gonna have our cameraman who's gonna
My kids are just so excited they get to eat with their hands. So that's what I know. Yay.
Yeah, that's the best part. You get to eat with your hands. Isn't it more fun? Doesn't it taste more yummy? So my friends here are gonna serve themselves. And you guys, I hope you enjoyed this class. We think this is gonna be part, say hi to the cameraman. Cameraman, say hi. We have to give a special shout out to Holton. Holton is a member of our board, and we are in the kitchen of his church, Christ Community Church here in Drexel Hill. It gave us a lot of space to spread out. We're so thankful to Christ Community Church for allowing us to inhabit their space and make some Nsima.
Yeah. So the water, we have to really have, otherwise the Nsima will be sticking
Yeah,
everywhere.
get your hand wet enough, yeah. Okay? Are there any other questions before we get off camera? Because now it's gonna get, now it's gonna just be delicious time, yummy time. Oh,
Yeah.
Chef Annie's gonna eat hers with roasted peanuts. So,
Oh, really? Oh.
and I must say, we're thinking about a part 2 to Meals from Malawi, and in part 2, Chef Karma will delight us with her cuisine excellence because she is an amazing cook, and she takes Malawian food to a whole new level. So
Oh, my.
we're gonna try to do this again, and this time and have a Chef Karma join us. All right. So I hope you'll be there for that. And in the meantime, enjoy your Nsima.
Yay.
Yay! I'm gonna go check the chat, and then we're gonna close out with that video, Margaret. But let me check the chat. Thank you. Oh, keep going. Yeah, we need to take a picture of us here.
Yeah.
Can you do a screenshot, Margaret? So we're gonna let you guys go. This was just yummy, and we thank you so much for being here. You can do a screenshot of us.
I want to talk a little bit about the flour.
Oh, those who wanna stick, those who wanna stick around.
Go.
Yes, I don't even know what time it is.
Are we over time?
I was not even keeping track. What time is it, Margaret? Oh, I can't hear you.
Sorry, you. It's 7:15.
7:15 we start.
Oh, that's good
Okay,
time.
well,
Yep.
yeah. Next time we're gonna have you get the firewood and the water, so you can have the full experience, and you'll be with us for about 3 hours.
Yummy. Blessed be God forever.
Thank you, Jesus. Thank you guys for joining us. We love it. We love you. We love our food. And we'll see you next time. Enjoy the video as you exit.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
sana dunia nzima iniache, kama wewe wanipenda, mimi sitapungukiwa na chochote. Ndo maana leo ninaimba, watu wote waelewe kwamba wewe ndiwe Mungu Jehova Shama. Unasema utabaki, Adonai utabaki, Elishadai
utabaki kuwa Mungu. Jehova Shama.
Wanasema utabaki
kuwa Mungu.
utabaki
Utabaki
Jehova Nisi utabaki
kuwa Mungu.
wewe.
Jehova
Wanasema
Shama.
utabaki
kuwa Mungu.
utabaki
Utabaki
Jehova
kuwa
Rohi
Utabaki kuwa Mungu. Jehova Shama.
Umeandaa meza kubwa mbele ya watesi wangu, umenipa mali nyingi na wanaona. Isitoshe wewe Bwana